for a quote. Somebody that asks for a quote probably really started to ask for a quote somewhere in here. Now, market makers sometimes take a little bit of time to do these types of things. It takes a few minutes, it sometimes takes a few seconds, it sometimes takes a few minutes to get a quote on a sizable amount of business that's brand new on the order book. Somebody asked for 66 grand's worth of call options at $10.15 approximately, $10.14, $10.13. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot. For this stock, however, it's very sizable. So obviously what the market maker has done is they've seen that coming through on the screens, and they've driven the price up prior to that quote being finished, prior to the quote being finished on a block trade agreement. In fact, it was a sweep trade agreement, so it went across a couple of exchanges to get priced. Snow's just got another block trade, guys, in for another 600 grand. 600 grand's just came in Snow there. Anyway, so they started to get quotes in this. Now you've got to take action at that stage. You can see there's a huge volume candle starting to appear on a downtick. So what do you think that is? What do you think that huge volume is on that downtick candle? That's the market makers buying that stock, isn't it? That's the market makers buying that stock. So what happens to the stock shortly after that? This is what happens to the stock. It blistering takes away from that option after the market maker bought into it. And you can see that that was a very, very, very fast and very furious. It went $10.14 to $10.85. It made 70 cents on a $10 stock, 7% return on your money. And it took approximately 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, guys. 7% return on your money on that little stock. Now, I shouted out Snow in real time. Snow in real time, of course. We've already seen this stock at that same price. Do you see what happened, Jack? It came back to that price. The bids came back in. It came back to that price. The bids have came back in again on Snow. So you can see if you decided to join Snow at that trade from earlier. Remember, we shouted it over here. We said this looks like a buy trade. And obviously the price goes up, and then it comes back to that same price, and it's gone again from that Snow price right there. Well, somebody's came in, and you can see what's happened to the market makers. Look, see what's happened? Somebody's came in at $299.11. Somebody came at $299.11. $299.11. Approximately there. Now, when was that? When did we shout that? 10:52, 10:52. So it was over here, obviously. 10:52. So somebody's came in at that point there for 600 grand's worth of call options. Now, obviously, the market maker's got to try and figure out what they're going to do with that call option. Well, you can see quite quickly what they've decided to do with that call option. Now, obviously, we're getting some heavy volume starting to come in as well on these trades, but that's a big trade. Now, that's an opening trade. Now, it might be part of a calendar spread, and they're just trying to hedge out a position, but you've got to remember that this is still a new trade that showed up here. It's bigger than the total option available in that situation, and therefore it's not somebody that's just closed out a position. It's somebody that's initiated a new trade. And they didn't just initiate that new trade. They then took another $186,000 of options going out to March, which is obviously a little bit further away. But you can see we've just tested into the level, and as soon as it tested into the level, somebody just bought 298.85s. Somebody just bought that price level. Now, I don't like coming in later because I've always got a suspicion that they're maybe working a synthetic reversal on that trade. If I don't get it at the starting point, I generally miss out on these types of trades here. But, you know, it's one of those little extras you can start to understand a little bit better as an equity trader. If you start to get to know the stock, if you start to get to know the company a little bit better, you'll see these things. Classroom, guys, in 4 minutes.